Well, I've tried to avoid this for this channel, but you kind of can't. Where there's a whole YouTube economy of responding to other YouTubers. Now, there's obviously a very legit area where people are grifters or frauds, or worse, since they're exposing frauds. That's fine. People like Critical Drinker, Mauler, EFAP, and it's not just the alt right. Some people, quote, the left, like Mr. Beast, have done suspicious things. Like the Cavernacle, who is a very extreme communist. That's not ad hominem, he's literally a communist, has been exposing a lot of the alleged wokos who actually support the massacres in Gaza and imperialism. And, some people I like, Counterpoints and Vouch. And it pains me because I really like this guy, H Bomber guy, but they're not as consistent with their quote leftism as they appear to be. So there you go. So there's a legitimate space. I don't think Sarah is a grifter. However, I do think she's being intentionally stupid, and her analysis, for the most part, is pretty weak. It's really weak and goes for a lot of low blows and stuff that doesn't even make any sense. But still, I do think this is an important topic because season 6 has gone down in the Buffy fan mythology. Not the Buffy mythology, but the fan mythology as being the worst thing of all time. And some people are going to such extremes that they think season 6 on every level is worse than, say, season 1, which is factually kind of problematic because season 1 had no budget. Special effects were really basic and goofy. Like, over half the episodes in season 1 can be entirely skipped. They have no influence on the canon, they have no real consequence, and the episodes onto themselves are pretty weak. So some of the Buffy fans who were disappointed with season 6, including myself, have gone to an extreme that we should just decimate the thing to death. But I don't think she did the pro season 6 people any favors. But let's go to it because she made a few good points, but not that many. But I found the viewpoint very alarming and head scratching. So why is season 6 good? Well, it does have a lot of great episodes.
To sing whatever they're feeling the most, and this episode occurs when everyone's worst secrets are being bottled in. Buffy was in heaven. John's shoplifting. Xander and Anya are scared of marriage. Giles thinks he's hurting Buffy by staying in America. Willow's modifying Tara's memory. Spike is in love. I can't even.
Serious problems with this video. Although she did do some research, which I congratulate her for, it does seem to be all confirmatory analysis because Whedon has spoken about this. And to his mind, if they had continued Buffy, he was going to have an episode where apparently Buffy, through reasons, is granted a free wish, right? In other words, she does something and her reward is you get a free wish. You can have whatever you please, whatever you want. And obviously for Buffy, right? I'm trying not to spoil too much of the story. Probably a big one would be Joyce. So minor spoilers, Joyce dies tragically in season 5. So most people would say, oh, well, she's probably going to pick, right? Revive Joyce. But at least in Whedon's conception, no, she's going to pick bringing back Tara and basically putting Tara and Willow back together. There he goes. So what she's saying, one, is factually very questionable. And two, this whole thing that Whedon is this overwhelming evil misogynist doesn't add up. In fact, one place it just got totally screwy where she's like, by the way, this episode was really good because it's executive produced by women's.
Most iconic moments, Tara's death. Whedon apparently planned this plot point since season 5, aiming to push Willow toward a darker path in her magical journey, and indeed that's a big Whedonism. Killing moral core fan favorites was one of the things he used to be known for, and it makes sense since he also loved hurting good people outside of his stories.
Does she not know that Marty Noxon was the showrunner because Joss Whedon picked her as the showrunner? Are we really at the stage where we will just lie about everything because, Joss Whedon's evil? Joss Whedon can be evil, but just lying about everything Joss Whedon does is not healthy. Call me crazy. Anyways, and she also has this very strange analysis where season 6 is too pro male. And her evidence that it is filled with too much toxic masculinity is Riley is in an episode and he talks down to Buffy for sleeping with Spike.
Figuratively speaking.
We got your call.
We're here to help. Just like old times, except with you being all big with the married life.
It's just Spike, Riley.
Right. Deadly, amoral, opportunistic. Or have you forgotten?
Riley, please don't patronize.
You want me to say that I like seeing you in bed with that idiot? Or that blinding orange is your very best color?
I would agree that the Riley episode was really iffy. I do like the intention, and I do think that Riley deserved a lot better. And I would agree that individual scenes just didn't really add up. Where, yeah, all the women are like, "Oh my God, Riley, you're back. You're amazing." I'm like, huh? Like, it's a very weird fantasy episode. That said, it is a fantasy episode. I find it amazing this woman cannot do deeper analysis of how metaphor, illusion, irony works in Buffy. You're not meant to take everything at face value. Maybe they're being ironic. If they were, the jokes often failed. So there you go. That's why season 6 is very mixed to me. However, I'm not a hater. I'm actually going to put out a video praising season 6, even its very controversial finale. But there you go. Still, this is a very valuable essay, and I was not aware of it, even though it got about only 500,000 views. I've seen actually better defenses from smaller channels. They were really interesting. There's this one, I think, by this Italian fan. It's a very long analysis. But I was very impressed with the consistency and rigor of that argument and that analysis. So I definitely think season 6 should be looked at again. But this one was a very mediocre essay. It just kept going back to her points and her idea of the Buffy mythology, which fans can do that. Fans clearly have their own canon where what they think is what goes. But we also have to be careful and actually analyze Buffy as Buffy. That's less popular, apparently, but I think that's a safer route. We can do both. We can just do fan appreciation analysis, but we should label it as such. But her just definitively saying, guys, season 6 is like good. It F's. Okay. It doesn't help matters that she literally admitted that she really saw Buffy as a very, very young child. And she's really into Dawn because guys, like, Don was neurodivergent. I was neurodivergent. Oh my God, I'm Don and Don is me. It's never a healthy analysis when you just identify with the character and just assume me am character and character is me. I don't even think that's true in season 6 that Dawn is neuro whatever. I mean, you're just making stuff up. But yeah, the klepto story was not good, but I don't think it's evidence that, Dawn is a schizo or whatever. So yeah, we are just making stuff up. But it's an interesting analysis because it does show that this is a very emotive season and it does polarize people. I'm glad it polarized people in a positive way.
Also a lot less catharsis. They feel less cohesive to me, whereas season 6 tells a really effective story about grief and depression that doesn't shy away from the hard parts while still presenting a very optimistic.
But if the positive people are just making stuff up in their own dream world, I don't know if they're going to be able to persuade people outside their cult that no, guys, it was really good. Because, Marty Noxon is a woman and she wrote stuff. Joss Whedon, the evil misogynist, was in outer space. The good episodes were with the women's, but then Joss came back and made it bad and killed the gays because he's misogynists. Right, right. Well, you're free to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm going to ask for more receipts on that one. Sorry, going to ask for some receipts.
Buffy is presented as being the one in the wrong here, with Joss Whedon's admitted self-insert Xander doing a scolding monologue about how terrible Buffy is for letting a fantastic guy like Riley get away.
The guy would do anything for you. In about 20 minutes, Riley's gonna disappear.